God speaks through signs, and He gives signs to the human being to communicate intelligent things. But unfortunately, not all human being knows how to understand, comprehend, to receive the signs that God gives them. Have you been knowing how to understand the signs that God has been trying to give you? Let's understand how God does that. Well, in the personal level, God left for the human being a sign called pain. When you feel pain in your body, any type of pain, headache, stomachache, whatever problem in your body, this is a sign that there's something wrong with your body, with your health. The pain, it's not the cause, it's the symptom, it's the effect of something that is bad, something that you have eaten, some sort of problem. Pain points out to you. There's something wrong here, it's better for you to check it out. So pain, it's a sign. Just like anger as well. God gave to the human being the feeling anger as a sign. The anger becomes very useful to the human being when they understand that that is a sign that God also placed inside of them, that too, to show that there's something that it's not in agreement with an ideal. The anger is a symptom to something that is wrong. For example, when an injustice happens, every human being feels angry when they see an injustice, when you see someone mistreating a defenseless animal or child, deceiving an elderly. That is wrong, isn't it? That's a symptom. And you feel angry, that's a symptom that there's something wrong. If you know how to interpret that sign, that there's something must be done to correct that, and then the sign will be well used by you. The problem is that many don't know how to use anger, and they end up exploding, breaking things, or doing even worse things, isn't it? So you can use anger also in the wrong way, but if you learn how to use it in the right way, it's a great sign. So God works with signs. When you have a coldness in your marriage, that's a sign. This coldness in the marriage is a sign that there's something wrong. You don't talk that well, you don't touch each other, you don't have intimacy for a long period of time. This is a sign that maybe you are overlooking it, leaving it on the side, and you don't know that that's a cancer that is spreading in your marriage, and there'll come a time that your marriage will die. So if you don't pay attention to this sign that is happening in your marriage, you will have serious problems. So God works with signs. God speaks through these situations. Sometimes you have a serious problem, financial ones, because you've never learned how to discipline yourself financially speaking. You have been an impulsive person to buy what you see. You always reacted by the heart. You borrow money to whom you shouldn't have borrowed money. You created debts that you shouldn't, which means God allows us to go through the situations that we may learn. He speaks through the signs. Him himself, in His word, He left many prophecies. The Lord Jesus said, He spoke about the signs of the end of times. He said like this, you know how to discern when it's going to rain because you look at the sky and you see the heavy clouds and you say, look, it's going to rain. It will pour. You know how to discern the signs of the clouds, the signs when the sky is red and tomorrow there'll be sun. You know how to discern that. So you also can discern the signs of the end of times, that the earth is coming to an end. And the signs are there for everybody to see. But people don't pay attention to it. They don't look at it. They look into the other side. When you don't look at the sign, it's like in traffic. You don't see the sign of stop. You don't see the sign of the speed limit. the sharp turn that comes ahead. If you don't pay attention, if you don't respect the signs, most probably you're gonna cause an accident. So like these people live their lives, ignoring the signs. When you ignore the signs, you ignore the message. When you ignore the message, you put yourself at risk on causing serious problems to yourself and to others. So don't forget, God speaks through signs. He left the Word itself, the Holy Bible. It's a sign, a great one for us. This book here that I have in my hands, the Bible, this book, which is the most published book in the world, in the history of humankind, the kings and emperors, dictators tried to annihilate it, to destroy it, but they didn't manage to do it. This book here contains signs, words, messages to you that many ignore. Many have in the shelf. I remember that I grew up with a huge Bible on the shelf of my living room. My parents were left there. It was huge. It was open on Psalm. But nobody will get it to open. Nobody learned how to read it. We didn't understand it. Which means you have a map, a manual in your house. You have the mouth of God ready to speak to you, and you don't care. You don't want to know. You want to know about social media, about reality shows, what they did there or what they didn't do. You are worried with foolishness. And the signs that God are giving you, you are ignoring. So what happens? You start to developing problems in your life unnecessarily. Life includes suffering. Jesus said that we will have tribulation in life. But there are people who suffer more than necessary. Did you know it? Maybe you are suffering more than you need. Maybe you are suffering more than you need in the marriage, in the health, in your financial life, in your spiritual life. Because when you have an emptiness in your spiritual life, that is also a sign. The emptiness on the inside, the depression, all of that are signs that your soul is sick, are signs that the soul is sick. And if you don't seek for healing for your soul, you're going to remain like that. So there are people that suffer more than they need because they ignore the signs. They insist on ignoring the signs that God is giving them, and they go on the wrong, contrary direction. So what do you have to do? You have to become more attentive, more able to understand the signs, just like human being learns, and they go to school to learn how to read and write. What is a language? What are the letters of the alphabet? What are the words? What are the words, if not signs? You see the letter A and you say, but who said that is A? A in English, but in Portuguese is A. You look at that letter and you understood that there's a meaning. So if you don't learn, you don't know how to write or how to read. So just as how we need how to learn how to write and read to communicate better, we also need to learn the language of God. It's not that God is enigmatic. God speaks to those who want to listen to Him. He speaks to those who want to listen to Him. He who did not learn Russian is enigmatic, but to the Russian person is their mother language. It's the only language that they understand, isn't it? It's not that God is enigmatic. It's just that maybe you didn't learn the language of God. But if you get interested on it, if you want, if you put some effort into that, you will learn. And then everything will be clear for you. And you will be a person way more happier, more successful in all that you do.
Did you like this? Would you like to hear it again? Listen to it as many times as you need until this content becomes part of you. Don't forget to leave your like, comment, and share. See you next time.